Join ChristianMingle.com today.
Just got a call from the first sergeant. I think it's something about the defense department. Teamwork, ready for war, dog. How we gon' blow the spot? Be all I can be and be all I'm not. Now you
There are drivers who already know they'll be in the Daytona 500. Fast freight on the outside track. Can they make it the distance? We get ready to begin the duel at Daytona. Get ready for some noise.
Speed is ready to go racing with the Budweiser Duel at Daytona, so you had better be ready too, because we are about to go green. Now for this race, Trevor Bayne is up front alongside Daytona 500 pole sitter Danica Patrick. Welcome back inside to the Hollywood Hotel. Trevor Bayne, of course, the 2011 Daytona 500 champion. And let's head up to the broadcast booth where alongside Mike Joy, you'll find Darrell Waltrip and Larry McReynolds. Mike, the new car looks cool and the racing is going to be hot.
Absolutely. A lot of questions that'll hopefully be answered today, Krista. The Budweiser Duel has a grand tradition of setting the field for the 500 that dates all the way back to the building of the Speedway in 1959. But, Darrell, so many questions about how the drivers will run this race today.
Mike, there's no question. These drivers have met with their crew chief. They've met with their spotters. They have a game plan. They want to race hard, but they want to race smart. I don't know what happens. But when a driver puts that helmet on and he gets up in the middle of the pack and there's cars inside, outside, front him, behind him, he forgets that he's got to get this car. He needs this car on Sunday. He races like it's the last lap of the race. Somebody has to remind him, calm down, be patient, take care of this car. We're going to need it Sunday.
Right, because if you lose this car in this race, you'd either start the 500 in the back or you might have to go home. So Larry, Steve Burns used a great term, risk versus reward ratio, to describe today.
Yeah, and these are qualifying races. It's something very unique to our sport. This is the only time of the year we do this is for the Daytona 500. And there are different agendas. You have drivers, they want to make sure they qualify for the Daytona 500. Every driver wants to start as far up in the field as they possibly can for the biggest race of the year. But the bottom line, it's two races, and there's a victory lane, and at the end of the day, two drivers will get to say, we won a race at Daytona International Speedway.
All right, let's have a look at the Budweiser starting lineup for the first of two Budweiser duels today. Danica Patrick, the first woman pole sitter in NASCAR history, opposite Trevor Bayne on the front row. Row two, Tony Stewart, 3 dual wins, and Denny Hamlin, who won one of these in 2008. Joey Logano has finished top 10 in the last 3 Daytona 500s, and 3-time dual winner Dale Earnhardt Jr. Juan Pablo Montoya, best dual finish of 3rd in 2010. Casey Mears, the runner-up in the Daytona 500 in 06. Then Carl Edwards, the pole sitter here 1 year ago with Martin Truex. Back in row 6, a dual winner in 2010, Jimmy Johnson, with Sprint Cup champion Brad Keselowski. Sprint Unlimited winner Kevin Harvick shares row 7 with Greg Biffle, who got his first career cup win here at Daytona. David Gilliland 4th in the duel in 07, and Michael Waltrip, a 2-time duel winner. As you have a look through the rest of the starting lineup, Darrell?
Let's talk to little brother. What do you say? Hey, Michael Waltrip, it's Big Brother up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hello, Big Brother. I hear you loud and clear.
Buddy, you started a little bit toward the rear there, but you had a really fast car in practice yesterday. Can you and Tony Eury Jr. find that magic again?
Well, we know our goals today, and that's just to make our way into the big show on Sunday. But I sure have loved working with all the Swan Racing team. Tony Jr.'s the best. He's just got a great attitude. We've won this race before, Darrell. In 05, we won our 150. So I think there's magic in us left still, don't you?
I do, brother. You've kind of been around the other guys and gals out there today and in the garage area. How are people going to approach this race? Have you discussed that with any of the other drivers?
It's like we're a bunch of rookies, Darrell. The wind, the air off the cars is really causing people some havoc. They don't understand exactly what's going on. Used to, when you got right up on the back bumper of another car, you went faster. Now it seems like it bogs them down. You force the air into a guy's left rear quarter panel, you're going to spin him out. So everybody's really going to learn a lot today, and this is your best chance to learn everything it takes to win the Daytona 500. So hopefully we can survive, go to school, and really learn what it takes to get these babies around the track.
Well, I like your car. Great effort here for you and the team. Number 26, Newtown. That's a great cause. Good luck, buddy, and do your thing.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's check downstairs with our NASCAR on Fox All-Star Pit Crew, Matt Yoakum.
Mike, this could be the most important duel for Dale Earnhardt Jr. as far as qualifying races go here at Daytona in over a decade now. Jr. starts at the back due to an engine change. A crash Saturday night cost him a lot of drafting time with this new Chevy. So Steve Letarte, his crew chief, told me, I've unleashed Jr., told him to be aggressive, told him to move around, experiment. We need a solid direction as far as setup goes, so we know what Jr. needs to score another Daytona 500 win on Sunday. Steve Burns?
Well, Matt, it's pretty much the same here for his teammate Jimmy Johnson since winning the Daytona 500 in 2006. His luck has been downright dismal on the restrictor plate tracks, and they've pretty much been the Lone Rangers in practice during speed weeks. But his team just told me the reins are off. They need to learn some things. Expect Jimmy Johnson to race. Let's go to Hermie Sadler.
Well, Steve, Juan Pablo Montoya qualified 7th for this duel, but he will go to the rear of the field because of an engine change that took place prior to qualifying here for the Daytona 500. Now, despite that setback, this team is very confident that their switch to Hendrick engines in the offseason will give them a better chance to be competitive, not only here at Daytona, but for the entire 2013 season. Mike?
Thanks, Hermie. 60 laps, 150 miles. Danica Patrick on the pole for this duel and for the Daytona 500. Here's communication between Danica and her crew.
Hi, you guys have done an awesome job all weekend, and now it's time for me to do my job, so I'm going to do the best I can to keep this car in pole position where you put it, and test the fun.
Her crew chief, Tony Gibson, was born within sight of the Speedway, Halifax Hospital. Car chief for Alan Kulwicki's championship year. A long-timer in NASCAR. He has as much experience here as perhaps Danica lacks.
Risk reward today, though. Today's the risk, in my opinion. The reward might be on Sunday.
Why are we so apprehensive about what will happen today? Look what's happened so far. Matt Kenseth across the nose of Kurt Busch in Budweiser, or rather Sprint Unlimited practice. Tony Stewart came across Marcus Ambrose, and that pinballed Denny Hamlin through the field. In the Unlimited, Brian Newman in yesterday's practice got loose outside of Carl Edwards, with Mark Martin also involved.
And that's a lot of the sport's top drivers. In fact, a couple of champions there with Tony Stewart and the other guy that was involved in that one wreck there.
It's like my brother said on the parade lap there, Mike. These guys they're going to school. They're really learning about this car and what it does when it gets in certain positions. And it's different than what we've had in the past. It's better, but it's different.
So today is your midterm exam. The Budweiser Duel, 60 laps, 150 miles. Pit road speed 55 miles an hour, and the fuel window, Larry.
42 to 46 laps, so we know every driver will have to make at least one pit stop, whether it be under caution or be under green.
And, you know, one other thing real quickly. I believe there's a lot of pressure on every one of these drivers to be the driver that won one of the first races in this new car. With Kevin Harvick Saturday night in the Unlimited, he won the first race in the Gen 6 car. Who's going to win the qualifiers today? Who's going to win the 500 on Sunday?
Ready to race up at the east banking of turns 3 and 4. Steeped 31 degrees. And then they flare out into the short chute that leads to the 18-degree bank trioval. The green flag awaits.
Hot and sunny, Larry. Just a lot of sunshine on the racetrack today.
This is the hottest it's been the entire speed weeks.
23 cars. 15 of them will lock in Daytona 500 starting positions 60 laps from now. Chevrolet pace car dives onto pit road, and Danica Patrick, NASCAR's first woman pole sitter, brings them to the green. We're racing. Patrick and her car owner Tony Stewart on the inside, then Joey Logano driving his new Ford.
We saw this in the Sprint Unlimited. at the start of the race, Denny Hamlin in the black 11 gave Trevor Bayne a bit of a push in that 21, and that really gave him a good run through 1 and 2.
On the outside, Bayne in a Ford. The 11 is Hamlin's Toyota, then Casey Mears. He's in a Ford, and Truex in a Toyota. 2 by 2. Here they come. Who'll lead the first lap?
It's like that 21 car. That thing's been fast in practice, qualified good, and Trevor Bayne, our 2011 winner of the Daytona 500, is out front and looking good.
One concern about passing here is when you pull that group right up even with the race leader. You face a wall of air, and completing the pass has been difficult.
It's a perfect scenario for Danica, though, because she's got her car owner and teammate behind her, Tony Stewart. You know he's going to kind of shepherd her along. But that 11 car, that's the guy I think you got to keep an eye on, Larry.
Hamlin in a tight draft with Bayne. They're the leaders on the outside. Patrick leading the inside lane.
I really don't think this is going down exactly like Danica and Tony really thought it would. I think they thought with Danica being on the pole on the inside, they would be able to get ahead of all this traffic that they're fighting right now. So I'm not sure this going according to plan.
Hamlin.
Well, it just appeared that outside line stayed tighter to each other than the inside line, and that kept moving them ahead.
Just based on what I've seen in practice, Larry, with the Gibbs Toyotas particularly, and all the Toyotas in general, that 11 car is fast.
Tell you who else is pretty fast. Casey Mears in that 13 car right behind Trevor Bayne. If you go back to the last restrictor plate race of last year, he was pushing Michael Waltrip to the win till the big wreck happened in 3 and 4.
15 cars in that front pack, Darrell, bumper to bumper, 195 miles an hour. That's white knuckle racing right there.
Yeah, this is, if I were Danica, this is as far back as I'd want to go and keep racing, because it's going to get tense. These guys are going to get 3 wide here before long.
Now the 48 of Jimmy Johnson has done no drafting practice. He's made single car runs all week. Hasn't had a chance to work that Chevrolet in the draft, and now he's stuck in the middle with Kevin Harvick trying to edge ahead there.
Boy, we've seen this scenario a few times, and it hadn't been pretty.
Steve Burns.
And you saw Carl Edwards there stuck on the bottom on the low side of Jimmy Johnson, Mike. He said he would much rather get to the high side. He just can't get there from here.
2 by 2, then 3 by 3. By 3.
By 3.
Earnhardt from the back alongside the 29 of Harvick. He's up to 13th now in that number 88 Chevrolet.
You know, one thing that Danica said, and I really liked what she said. She said, I know it's going to be chaotic. I just don't want to add to it. And I think that's where she's riding along right now. How much of this can I take?
Waltrip on the outside with the front pack. 10th overall. And Johnson inside him.
I don't mean her as a driver. I just mean putting her car back in the field right here.
Driver that has really been working his way to the front. He started in the 10th position, but our champion, Brad Keselowski, in that 2 car, the 4th car in line, seems like he didn't have a lot of qualifying speed, but good speed in the draft.
Hello.
Gyro cam on board Jimmy Johnson, giving you a taste of the 31-degree banking.
That is awesome. And folks at home, that's exactly what it feels like. It flips you up in the bank. Then it sets you down on the straightaway, and that's what a driver feels for 500 miles around this place, 150 today. Look at that view. Look at the angle of that view, and that's what the driver's looking out the corner of that windshield. That's what he sees.
Back to double file behind the front half dozen.
Darrell, it just appears Denny Hamlin in the 11, he jumped to the bottom. I think he thought that line was going to start moving, and that line just keeps moving backwards.
You heard Jimmy Johnson say, I want to get to the outside. The hotter it gets, the slicker it gets, the more you're going to run that outside.
Trevor Bayne remains on point. 16th is the final transfer position, and that's where Dale Earnhardt Jr. sits. Nope, Joe Nemechek has passed Earnhardt for the final spot to race into the 500. That's Scott Speed in the 95 up high, sandwiching Jimmy Johnson in between he and Danica Patrick.
Oh boy, this is really, really, I know there's a crew down there. That 10 bunch is holding their breath right now. This is the danger zone, folks.
Nemechek side by side for that last transfer spot now with Tony Stewart. And Carl Edwards moves on to the bubble. Patrick and Stewart continue to draft nose to tail.
Daryl, I think we got our answer to the question we had on qualifying day. The Ford camp did not have a lot of speed in single car runs. How about 5 of the top 6 right now in this race out of the Ford camp?
They like that draft, they like to get out there and draft each other.
Kurt Busch just sailed by on the outside to take over the final qualifying position.
The Asphalt Gladiators return to racing's biggest arena for a full-throttle fight to the finish.
Hard into the wall.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Daytona, Friday at 7 Eastern, live on Speed.
You think your little Euro trash ride can beat my American muscle?
Bring it on. Are you faster than a redneck? Catch a special preview after the trucks race, Friday, only on Speed.
If I had a nickel.
If I had a nickel for every rain delay.
For every time my mom said I should have been an architect.
A doctor.
A lawyer.
For every itch I couldn't reach.
For every time I used fluid dynamics to reduce my drag coefficient.
For every time.
For every time somebody joked with me about having gas.
For every time I couldn't find my sunglasses.
For every time I pretended a grocery cart was a race car.
For every time.
So we hitting for 4 tires in Sunoco?
Man, if I had a nickel.
If you had a Sunoco Rewards credit card, you'd get a nickel for every gallon you pump. Go Sunoco.
Start with the groundbreaking car. Good. Then invent an entirely new way to buy one. No. Yes! A website that works like a wedding registry, but for a car. First, you customize it. Then let people sponsor the car's parts as gifts. Dad sponsors the engine for your birthday. Grandma sponsors the rims for graduation. The car gets funded. Then you pick up your new Dodge Dart at the dealership, and all that's left to do is say thanks. Easy.
You can't explain legendary.
Another great day at the track.
You have to live it. The Subway Fresh Fit 500, March 1st through the 3rd at Zoomtown, USA, Phoenix International Raceway. For tickets starting at $25, call 866-408-RACE or visit phoenixraceway.com.
Speed's presentation of the Budweiser Duel at Daytona, presented by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Sprint. Millions of fans, one family. Only Sprint can feed them all. Join the family at sprint.com/speed.
And I got to say this, okay? For all those people who said, I knew she couldn't stay up there, this is all part of the plan. She just needs to run out, and she's getting some laps. She wants to see what her car will do. So she's doing what she planned. Well, I think this was their plan.
All right, Danica Patrick has fallen to the back of the field. Matt.
And DW, you've hit it exactly right. Last night, these two teams sat down and they came up with a couple of different scenarios for this duel in case certain situations presented itself. Now, basically, Brandon Benesh, Danica Patrick's spotter, and Stewart's spotter, Bob Jeffrey, both noticed the fact that the bottom line wasn't moving. Too many cars had gone by. They decided to drop to the back, play it a little bit more safe at this juncture, and then a few more laps later, they'll make a run back toward the front. Just learning and being safe, guys.
Look who she's running with. Look who she's running around. 5-time, 3-time, Carl Edwards. I mean, you got some champions back there that she's kind of running around at the back with.
There are 23 cars in this race. It's a 22-car draft. Brian Keselowski, older brother of the champ, has lost the draft. You'll see him cycle across the top of the screen in your Fox box, 23rd. The easiest way to keep up with this race is to look at the background of the position number. If it is green, then that driver is in a position to race his way in to the Daytona 500 with that finishing position. If the background number has no color, that driver may have to look for another way to get into the 500 based on his qualifying speed or provisional. If a driver is eliminated from Sunday's race, then the background of his position number will be red. There are 15 positions available in this race in the 500 field, plus Danica Patrick, the pole sitter, is locked in.
Question, crew chief. Dale Jr. lost an engine yesterday. And do you think by chance that the Hendrick group decided to detune their engines just a little bit? Because look where they're all running. And they've been pretty steamy in practice and qualifying.
Yeah, I just believe the fact that they know there's a pit stop coming. And I'm looking, they're all running the same speed right now. Steve, I just didn't hear that there was a huge alarm in the Hendrick camp as far as engines.
No, and the only comment from Jimmy Johnson thus far, Larry Mack, he says, I'm just a little bit aero tight off the corners. Nothing loose about this race car.
But just think, this is the first time that Jimmy Johnson has had this car in the draft. Yesterday, the 2 practice sessions, he elected to make single car runs trying to find speed in his 48 car.
Well, you can, I mean, with the ECU unit, the electronic control unit, you can regulate these engines and how much performance. Are you going to max perform? You know, where you want the engine to run. I just had this idea that watching them where they're running, I said, well, maybe they just detune them, get some miles on them, they be sure everything's okay.
15 laps complete this time. Hermie Sadler, how about Denny Hamlin's number 11 Toyota?
Well, Mike, he dropped all the way back to the 20th position on the racetrack, partly because he got caught in the wrong line, partly because his car is too tight, especially on the exit of the corner, and that's a battle he's fighting right now. The lower he tries to run on the racetrack, the tighter his car gets. So right now he's hung back in a little bit of traffic, as you can see, trying to make a move on the 38 to get back towards the front. Mike?
Listen, that's the worst. When you're tight off, you got your wheels turning. You're coming off the corner, you're wide open in the throttle. Those front tires aren't gripping. All you can do is get out of the gas, because that thing is headed straight for the wall.
12-car breakaway at the front of the field. There they are, and behind them the battle is on for that last qualifying spot, which right now is held by David Rudiman.
This is a real pivot point for NASCAR. We have to get back to the cars looking like production cars. For us, in the year of launching the Fusion, to put it on the track and race against the best in the world at Daytona, that's what it's all about. This is a real special season, a special race, especially for Ford.
This is their story. Fusion Evolution. Stock returns to racing. February 24th, 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Speed.
While everyone else seems headed in the wrong direction, Ford is not just going forward. It's going further. Introducing the entirely new Ford Fusion, the most fuel-efficient mid-size hybrid sedan in America. It's an entirely new idea of what a car can be.
Nationwide is on your side. I've been saying that for years, but why should you believe it? Well, the Earnhardt family's been trusting Nationwide Insurance for more than 30 years.
They protected the Jarrett family for 40 years. And Nationwide Insurance puts members first because they don't have shareholders.
In fact, they've been protecting the NASCAR family of drivers, teams, and fans for more than 60 years.
Just goes to show you, this is a family business. To join the nation, call 877-NATIONWIDE. Nationwide is on your side.
They love their RVs for different reasons, but everyone here agrees. RVing is the best way to express your personality and enjoy a race weekend.
Outside entertainment center.
He's got a double refrigerator.
We bring everything. Easy storage. Got plenty of room to put all my stuff underneath.
Hot food, loud music, fast cars. We both have motorcycles and we can park those inside.
RVing's the way to go.
If you walk up and down here, you will see some of the most bizarre stuff.
You have to experience this in an RV.
Find your way. Go RVing.
Sick of this thing popping up.
I know. Cable's more annoying than...
I shouldn't have to stop watching a show or cancel a recording. Cable's worse than...
Totally. You need to upgrade to DirecTV and get the new Genie. She lets you record 5 shows at once.
Wow. DirecTV is better than...
Record 5 shows at once with the new DirecTV Genie. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
19 laps complete in today's aerial coverage, brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
It's just real tight off of 4 right now. It's tight into 3, but it's pretty tight off of 4.
We'll make an adjustment. We'll be stopped there.
So, Tony, sorry I can't stay closer, but I just keep on having to lift.
And that's what you do here. When the track gets hot, when the track gets slick, the car will not turn off the corner, particularly when you run the low line. That's why these guys have all gone to the high side. You get a little bit straighter run off the corner that helps that push a little bit, but that's a problem we've had at this track a long, long time, pushing off the corners.
What was a 12-car breakaway is now a 20-car draft, and the battle is on for the last transfer spot. Montoya has it. Edwards wants it, and a lap or so ago, Edwards had a close call.
This looks a lot like what we saw in practice with the 99 Carl Edwards and Ryan Newman yesterday. Watch Carl's car takes off up the hill. That's the same thing that he did to Ryan Newman yesterday, and Newman spun out.
Watching Trevor Bayne in this race, I talked to one of his owners, Eddie Wood, the other day at Rod Berry. He said this kid wants to turn everything into a competition. He said we can just be out having fun on a windy day flying kites. He will figure out how to turn that into a competition.
Trevor Bayne on point, wearing the Wood Brothers paint scheme that won the 1963 Daytona 500 for them.
That's got to thrill Leonard Wood. Just man, that car out there leading that race, his tribute car. Leonard Wood just inducted into the 2013 Hall of Fame along with his brother Glenn last year. Those guys know how to run Daytona.
Brad Keselowski sitting in fourth spot, Matt.
Mike, different agendas throughout the field. Now, yesterday, Keselowski's team had an issue with their fuel system. They changed out the entire fuel system. They ran sometime yesterday just to check that, but no better test than running this duel. Keselowski says no issues. In fact, he says he's noticing other drivers are starting to lose their handle. He feels like if his teammate directly behind him, Joey Logano, would dip out with him, they could make a run and take the lead. He feels pretty good about his car at this juncture.
And Larry, what have you said down here for the last several days? When a guy pulls in the victory circle here and he gets out of his car, what's he going to say?
He's going to talk about how good his car drove. He's probably maybe won't talk about how fast it was, but how good it drove.
You got to be able to run wide open lap after lap. If you have to start moving like we heard Danica say, you're going to lose the lead draft.
These brand new Fords, Chevys, and Toyotas with a lot more manufacturer identity than the past cars. Aerodynamically, they are different. They drive differently. And here is the battle for the bubble. Rudeman 14th on the outside in the 83. Tony Stewart on the bubble. Denny Hamlin one spot back with Jimmy Johnson. And now Rudeman in the 83 is in the last qualified spot.
And David Rudeman is the one that really needs that spot. We know Tony Stewart would be in on speed, but David Rudeman, 41st quickest, he knows he has to race his way in through this dual race.
That's a group, you know you got to race your way in. You're pretty desperate. That's a group you need to keep your eye on, particularly if you're behind all of them as Danica Patrick is right now.
That is an 8-car jam session there, fighting for 15th. Now we know that once this race is over, if Trevor Bayne and Tony Stewart don't race their way in, their speed will get them into the 500, and these drivers would be in with provisional positions should they not race in. There is even a scenario in which Dale Earnhardt Jr. misses the 500 if the drivers ahead of him on speed and provisionals have to use them, and Jr. does not race his way in this event.
Mike, of the drivers you just marked there, the two that are outside that top 15 right now, Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin.
Last time around, Jimmy Johnson and David Rudeman's 83.
Wow, did you see that flap come up on the hood, Larry?
That
a lot of air.
Shows you how much the air changes on the nose of a car when he's following another driver.
There you see Rudeman. Whoa, he might have got a little bit of the wall there after that bump from Johnson. Was that bump drafting or a little bit of a chrome horn?
I think he thought you had to go right to go left, but this ain't dirt.
26 of 60 laps complete in the first Budweiser Duel.
It's the most anticipated Daytona 500 ever. Get on the inside track with the experts who have lived it.
When you win the Daytona 500, it stays with you the rest of your life.
NASCAR Race Day fueled by Sunoco. Sunday at 9 Eastern. Live on Speed.
Millions of fans, one family. It takes truly unlimited data to feed a family this large.
Here's to the guys who grow facial hair and make life more interesting. Keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. Comb in, and in 5 easy minutes, gray is gone. Grow on, you champions of facial hair. Just for Men. Look like a champ.
Golden Corral just passed America's Family Budget Act. Right now, kids eat for just $2.99 Monday through Thursday. It's all your endless Golden Corral favorites, including our new sirloin filet and our non-stop butterfly shrimp. The $2.99 Kids Dinner Special, only at Golden Corral.
That's nice. Hello there.
So this board gives me rates for Progressive Direct and other car insurance companies?
Yes.
But you're Progressive and they're them?
Yes.
But they're here?
Yes.
Are you...
There?
Yes.
No.
Are you them?
I'm me.
But those rates are for...
Them.
So them are here?
Yes. You want to run through it again?
No, I'm good.
You got it?
Yes.
Rates for us and them. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
I'm serious. We compare our direct rates side by side to find you a great deal, even if it's not with us.
Oh, that's helpful.
Well, our company does that too. Actually, we invented that. It's like a sauna in here.
Helping you save even if it's not with us. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
No más pantalones.
Drivers take the halfway sign. Trevor Bayne still in the lead. 12-car lead draft. And on pit road, that's one of the newest members of the NASCAR Hall of Fame, Leonard Wood, mechanical genius, pit stop choreographer. And the Wood brothers took the paint scheme thing to extreme. They're even wearing the same uniform design as in 1963 when Tiny Lund drove their car to victory lane. He's getting ready to clean the grill when Trevor comes in on pit stop.
What do you remember about that race, or do you remember anything at all?
Well, I remember Marvin Pance was the Wood brothers driver, but he was injured in a sports car race, and Tiny Lund was one of those who pulled him out. Marvin couldn't drive the 500. They installed Tiny Lund in the car.
The greatest, fastest pit crew, just about forever, never changed tires that day.
The Wood brothers have 3 wins in the duel, with Cale Yarborough in 1970, David Pearson in 75, and Neil Bonnet in 1980. Jeff Hammond.
Guys, you were talking about pit stops. The way I'm looking at the way this race is starting to shake out, I think this is going to be really important that all these teams, it's kind of like their first opportunity in really a live fire situation to execute perfectly, because track position really looks like it's going to be premium today, and getting off pit road is going to be critical.
You know, Jeff, I think it's more getting on pit road, because when you're running in a pack like this, you really got to watch getting down off the track. You don't get run over.
And this pack will decide, Jeff, who's going to be in the 500. Right now it's Montoya, the 42 with that transfer. No, now it's Regan Smith.
And, Mike, I go back to what Darrell was saying. Getting on the pit road. These guys have not practiced it a whole lot, so this is the first time at speed they've got to start getting the car down to pit road speed and not run over one another.
And now it's Tony Stewart who's in the 15th spot. That leaves Jimmy Johnson 1 spot away. Earnhardt 3 spots away from qualifying.
And that pit stop is about 10 or 12 laps away. And here's what's going to be the crapshoot. The way these cars are handling right now, I think you want to go with 4 tires, but you don't need but just about a half a can of fuel. So that the tire changers, a lot's going to be on their shoulder.
I think so, Larry, but I also think if there's guys in there that say, hey, my car's handling great, might throw 2 tires and a shot of gas and get out of there.
As long as he has plenty of friends that does the same thing.
And that's usually what you're doing. If you got neighbors and you're going to pit with somebody or you're going to come in with other people, you work out what your plan is with the other people so you don't get caught out.
Right now, Jimmy Johnson's 48 at the tail end of this pack is in the last transfer position. Here comes Earnhardt on the inside trying to take it away. Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Carl Edwards, 6th, 7th, 8th. Greg Biffle right there. And Harvick really steaming along on the inside here.
I think if you can run the bottom and you don't have to lift out of the throttle, get the pushing up off the corner, you can make good time down there, but that bottom is hard to run when the track is hot and slick like this.
Pit stop should be coming soon. The lead pack has reformed, 18 cars deep. Regan Smith right now in the last transfer spot.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, a landslide will bring it down.
So, if you have a flat tyre, dead battery, need a tow or lock your keys in the car, Geico's emergency roadside assistance is there 24/7. Oh dear, I got a flat tyre. Yeah, can you find a take where it's a bit more dramatic on that last line, yeah? Yeah, I got it right here. Someone help me! I have a flat tyre! Oh, it's good for me. What do you think?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
High-performance motorcycles since 1902.
Let's go places. Not just the ones you can find on a map, but the ones you can find in your heart. Because inspiration doesn't favor those who sit still. It dances with the daring and rewards the courageous with ideas. Ideas that inspire. Ideas that take you places you never imagined. Ideas big enough to make the heart skip a beat. And in some cases, maybe 2. Toyota, let's go places.
They were 3 by 3 halfway through the field, and then they came up on Brian Keselowski, who the leader puts 2 laps down. They had to reform double file, and now they're 3 abreast again.
I thought that Brian was going to be right in the way, but they were able to manage it very well. I'm really surprised. I thought that was going to be a disaster.
Edwards inside Logano in the middle in that yellow car. 3 wide. Pit stops have begun. Joe Nemechek, who has to race his way into the 500, and David Rudiman making their green flag stop. Jeff?
Guys, I'd like to point out Kevin Harvick. Remember the other night in the shootout deal that he forced his way to the front in that last segment, got to come down pit road, held that lead off of pit road and went on to win. That have been on Saturday night. So I'm looking for him to do about the same thing today, be able to try to hold that serve off of pit road. And Darrell, to your point, when he started this race, he was one of the very few cars that was loose.
She's tightened up now and going somewhere.
Well, Harvick brought the inside line to the front and made the pass for the lead. He is the only driver who's been able to do that today.
But I tell you, to Jeff's point, his crew the other night in that Sprint Unlimited gave him a well of a pit stop, and that's what put him in a position to hold that lead and go on and win that race.
Bobby Labonte comes off pit road as David Gilliland comes in. Harvick, Bain, Mir, Truex, Biffle, and Jimmy Johnson has fought his way up to 6th. They've taken off from the pack, which remains 3 and 2 wide behind them.
But don't you love the way Harvick races? I mean, we had, you know, Trevor Bayne's leading the race comfortably, and Casey Mears right behind him. They're riding along real good shape. All of a sudden, where did he come from?
Well, he continues to make the statement, even though he has announced he will be leaving Richard Childress Racing at the end of this year, that we are here to contend and win races.
He has. I love his attitude. He wants to help this team. He wants it to be in the best shape it can be in when he walks out the door. It's good for him. It's good for the team. Here comes some of them.
Series champ Brad Keselowski, his teammate Joey Logano stopping with him, and also Montoya coming to pit road, Scott Speed, and Regan Smith. Green flag pit stops. Hermie?
Juan Pablo Montoya hits his pit stall. His car has been tight, especially in traffic. They're talking about 2 right side tires and fuel. Matt?
And with the Penske cars, both Joey Logano in the 22 and Brad Keselowski are champion, both on pit road, and both had similar complaints during that first run. So the car was really tight early, but as the run progressed, it got better and better. Both are away.
A whole group, including the leaders, are going to peel off this time. Kevin Harvick is going to lead Trevor Bayne onto pit road. Casey Mears, Martin Truex, Greg Biffle, Jimmy Johnson, and just about the rest of the field.
Yeah, the 21 car got out into the infield there a little bit. I don't think it hurt it, though.
Steve.
The report from Jimmy Johnson, he says the car is running a little bit warm, but okay. He continued to say the car was just a little bit tight off. Hermie. 21 car, no adjustments, but it will be a 4-tire stop and fuel. Matt?
And Dale Earnhardt Jr., he was riding near the back into that run. Not a lot of complaints from Jr. Meanwhile, Danica Patrick pulls the green car to a stop. They're going to make a track bar adjustment because she had such a difficult time losing the nose, especially off turn 4. The car was tight, and she's away.
We saw a mixed bag of strategies on pit road. There were 2 tires. There were 4 tires. I even saw, like, Regan Smith's team went with fuel only.
Yeah, I think 2 tires was a call, Larry. Just no more fuel than you need to get to the end. 2 tires.
Let's take a look at the 29 of Kevin Harvick leading Trevor Bayne and the rest of this pack onto pit road, and then everyone else decides to pit with him. A lot of tire smoke there.
Here's what happens. Trevor blows his right front tire out, shoots him out into the grass a little bit. He comes to the pit box with a right front tire flat.
And I think that's one reason they just went ahead and said, you know what, we're up near the front. We're going to put 4 tires on this 21 car.
Doesn't appear to hurt the nose on the car at all.
Bayne is back on track in 11th. And the all-important final transfer spot right now belongs to Bobby Labonte, the 2000 Series champion in the 47. Harvick in and out first, ahead of Greg Biffle, Martin Truex, Jimmy Johnson, and Casey Mears. 42 laps. Brian Keselowski is the last car to come to pit road as Kevin Harvick leads.
I hate that cable only lets us record 2 shows at once.
Me too. Cable's worse than...
Not being able to record all our shows at once is more annoying than...
We need to upgrade to DirecTV and get the new Genie. She lets you record 5 shows at once.
I want DirecTV more than...
Record 5 shows at once with the new DirecTV Genie. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
Attention, if you are 65 or older and have Medicare, listen to this important message about diabetes.
I have diabetes and it changed my life. So has this new meter I received free from CCS Medical. You see, I used to only test on my fingers, but it was painful for me. My new meter allows me to test on my arm as well, where it's virtually pain-free. And listen to this.
Your blood glucose reading is 103.
It talks. Seeing and hearing my reading helps me confirm accuracy.
So if you're at least 65 years old with Medicare, give CCS Medical a call.
So give them a call. They'll send you one free.
At CCS Medical, we can send all your diabetes supplies to your home, so you won't need to go to the pharmacy, and we'll deal with Medicare or your insurance to handle the paperwork. We can also supply you with insulin pumps, catheters, as well as ostomy and wound care supplies.
So call CCS Medical if you have Medicare and are 65 or older to get your free meter and more. Give CCS Medical a call.
45 laps complete. Kevin Harvick is your leader. 4-car draft at the front, then 2, then more. We listened to Trevor Bayne about that entrance to pit road.
Harvick crowded us over. I couldn't do anything about it. Sorry.
He's second in line there.
I think he was just coming a lot faster than Harvick. Harvick really gave him quite a bit of room right there. They get a little tight, but Trevor had such a head of steam. But remember, we were having the practice show yesterday, and I told you about managing your resources. The 48 is a good example. The 48 was at the back of the pack before those pit stops. Your resources are your driver and his talent, your car and its speed, and your pit crew and your crew chief, what they do in the strategy. They have used every bit of their resources to find themselves up in the top 4 here.
And the field is spread out for 2 reasons. One, the driver's skill entering and leaving pit road, but moreover, the skill of that pit crew in making a fast stop has spread the field a bit.
Well, when I look at our top 4 right now, Harvick, Biffle, Truex Jr., and Johnson, their teams went with 2 right side tires, as Darrell pointed out, just enough fuel to get to the end. When I look at the 2 drivers behind them, Edwards in the 99 too. Actually, Casey Mears in the 13, fuel only.
And one other thing, Larry, remember those guys raced Saturday night. So the pit crews have had some practice of changing tires, maybe have a better strategy, and they're leading the race.
Bobby Labonte holds the last transfer spot, but now Brad Keselowski and Juan Pablo Montoya have drafted up to him. That could change quickly.
If I had a nickel.
If I had a nickel?
If I had a nickel for every time I wish my car had a horn. If I had a nickel for every time.
For every lucky charm I have brought to the racetrack.
If I had a nickel.
For every wardrobe change I had to make.
Man, if I had a nickel. If I had a nickel for every time I coulda, woulda, shoulda.
If you had a Sunoco Rewards credit card, you'd get a nickel for every gallon you pump. Go Sunoco.
What makes a ZL1? Splitter, the extractor, the larger front stab bar, 6-piston Brembo,
Gen 3 magnetic shocks.
so the suspension could do its job. All of this hardware is about making the car continue to go into a corner hard lap after lap.
There's a new class of hardest working, smoothest riding. It's got the most torque, the smoothest suspension, the best storage, class-leading comfort, and a revolutionary collection of versatile accessories. It's built on everything we've learned creating the world's best-selling utility side-by-sides. Introducing the all-new 60-horsepower Ranger XP 900. A whole new class of hardest working, smoothest riding.
4-speed manual transmission, 850 horsepower, 1 bucket seat, 0 to 160 in 8 seconds. Oh, yeah. That baby will do.
Any questions?
I take it for a test drive.
You ever driven one of these things? I'll get the keys.
She don't take keys.
Laps complete, 10 to go in the first of 2 Budweiser Duel races to set the 500 field. Kevin Harvick is on point. Trevor Bayne led most of the way. Harvick brought the inside line up from the front, took the lead. Pole sitter Danica Patrick dropped to the back, but after her pit stop has rebounded to 18th place. Brian Keselowski 2 laps down, and David Gilliland has just been lapped, taking them off the lead lap, and the transfer spot right now is still held by the number 47 of Bobby Labonte. His Toyota just in front of Brad Keselowski, the series champ, and Juan Pablo Montoya as the laps wind down.
I like the way this is setting up, Larry. It kind of looks like a rerun of the Unlimited Saturday night. These 2 cats at the front. Biffle might think he owes Harvick a little something.
Well, Darrell, I can't help but go back to the Sprint Unlimited when I look at these 4 drivers leading this pack around here with about 8.5 laps to go. I think back to what did not happen in that race. And I think back to what Tony Stewart told you under the pace laps of that race. You can't wait to the last corner. And I think all of these drivers know that. The question, when to move.
What's kind of interesting, you have a Chevrolet, a Ford, a Toyota, and another Chevrolet. So all of these guys are right here with a shot.
We're going to have to look back pretty deeply into the Sprint Unlimited to find the last time Kevin Harvick was passed under the green flag here this week. Things are picking up in the second pack. It's a 4-car breakaway out front. Now all of these drivers are in a secure qualification.
Oh, there you go.
Hard 1 car into the wall, and that's Carl Edwards.
Or is that Carl?
Wow. Regan Smith gets tagged. Denny Hamlin involved. That changes everything.
21 spun.
Had that group minded their P's and Q's, they all would be in the Daytona 500.
Oh my.
And now we're under caution for the first time in the first Budweiser duel. Very, very hard contact with the outside wall for Carl Edwards, who has dropped the window net. And that is a signal to safety workers that he is okay.
So if we can get a look here and see exactly what happened.
There's Carl Edwards.
Comes the pack around. He kind of pushes up off the bottom there a little bit. Looks pretty good at this point. Oh, Hamlin, looks like Hamlin got loose first. Not sure why. Have to look at it again.
But he definitely got loose and came down into Carl Edwards' right rear quarter panel.
Let's see if we can get a better look here.
Now that's Michael Waltrip alongside Carl.
Oh, the 11 just gets, he's just spinning out. He gets loose and starts to spin.
Yeah, he got no help from the 21 whatsoever. He just got loose, it looked like.
Now further back was Dale Earnhardt Jr. Back about 12th position. Let's ride along.
Get the help here. Use the air off that 22. You'll drive right back by him here. There you go. Keep coming, keep going, keep going, keep going. Good job, man. Good job. Caution's out.
That is a great piece of driving, folks. Didn't panic. See there, the 11 just gets around. And Larry, when you're really tight off of 2 over there, you got a lot of wheel in the thing, and when the front end finally does take a little bit of a bite, the thing it'll come around with you like that.
And Denny Hamlin, one of the drivers, his crew, they put 4 fresh tires on that car under that pit stop.
Junior makes it through, and Trevor Bayne runs out of room in the 21.
Boy, between the car and testing and now speed weeks, that's a lot of cars for Carl Edwards. Hermie.
The 11 car did make it to pit road. Obviously 4 flat tires. What I can see, a little bit of damage to the left front fender. They did not spend any time working on damage on the right side. So I'm assuming all the damage we can see on the car right here in front of the left front tire. They're going to try to get 4 tires on it, fix the damage, and get him away. Matt?
Brad Keselowski brings the deuce to pit road, his car tight. Meanwhile, a few more stalls up pit road. Tony Stewart says his car is extremely tight down in turns 3 and 4, and off of turn 2, it's just sliding the nose. Chassis adjustments for both.
Juan Pablo Montoya and Scott Speed also making pit stops.
Evidently, Montoya must have some damage there. You can see him working on the right front. But, yeah, the other drivers that came to pit road, 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, the 42 looks like he got against the fence at some point.
His car was already a bit banged up and scraped up from green flag racing earlier.
Yeah, I think that damage was done. Now they have time to fix it.
Tony Stewart slides through. We're under caution at Daytona as Trevor Bayne surveys the damage.
Millions of fans, one family. It takes truly unlimited data to feed a family this large.
Golden Corral just passed America's Family Budget Act. Right now, kids eat for just $2.99 Monday through Thursday. It's all your endless Golden Corral favorites, including our new sirloin filet and our non-stop butterfly shrimp. The $2.99 Kids Dinner Special, only at Golden Corral.
Can you hear it? Feeling the American spirit. No matter when, no matter where, Marathon will take you there.
Let's pinch our dreams. Let's wake them up. Make them real. Let's not let anything hold us back. Not even 292,000 pounds. Let's keep our head in the stars, our feet on the ground, and nothing will be beyond our reach. Toyota, let's go places.
I referred 4 of my neighbors to DirecTV, and now I get $40 off my bill every month. But the real reason I did it was that stupid cable van. It seemed like every week there it was, ripping out this, tearing up this. I mean, it was always something. DirecTV is reliable, and you get the best channels.
Refer a friend to DirecTV, and you'll both get $10 off your bill every month. Just give them your account number before they call 1-855-REFER-NOW.
Whenever you want, wherever you go, your favorite shows are always there.
This is where it started.
With DirecTV everywhere. We've added the History Channel with shows like Swamp People and Top Gear. So you can watch the same shows you love at home on your cell phone, tablet, or laptop.
Yeah! Smells like victory.
All this at no extra charge. Plus, we're adding more of your favorites all the time. Start watching now at directtv.com/everywhere.
5 laps to go and getting ready to restart, and the question is, what turned the 11 of Denny Hamlin around when it did not appear there was any contact?
You're just coming up off you're coming off this corner. Remember, we're talking about how cars are tight and they're pushing. The car's understeering. You got a lot of steering in it, The front of the car bites just a little bit, and when it does, it snaps the back end around just like that.
Coming to green with 4 laps to race, Brad Keselowski Scott Speed in the final transfer spot as they take the green.
Yeah, what looked like was going to be 4 drivers fighting it out, we're back up to about 15 or 16 with 4 to go.
Yeah, this could get real interesting.
Bump drafting Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick in the 29 as they come to speed.
Look at that little green car slipping in the picture there. Larry, who is that?
That would be Brother Michael up there in that 26 car.
He beats all I've ever seen.
In 5th place. Biffle on the inside now. Riding with Waltrip. Johnson just ahead in 3rd. Logano just behind in 4th. Then Earnhardt Jr. and Truex.
This is somewhat the situation we were in at the start of the race, where it just looks like that outside line is lining up, and they're going to prevail here.
You know, quite honestly, I know Michael's in a great spot right there, but in all reality, he can't afford to have a problem.
At the back of that pack, David Rudiman just lost the transfer spot to 14. Tony Stewart.
Look at that bottom. They come off the corner right there. They're 3 wide coming up off 2 over there, headed down the back.
Yeah, look at Montoya in the 42. He was just on pit road getting repairs in 4 tires, and look at him coming up through there on the bottom.
He got them good repairs. Made that baby better.
Speed, Rudiman, Speed. The 95 and the 83 fighting for the last spot, and just ahead of them, they are log jammed 3 abreast. Nemechek now in the transfer spot in the 87.
Hang on to her, boys.
And Harvick's having to do the same thing he did the other night. He's driving out the windshield, but he's almost driving as much out the rear window.
He's working it, baby. He's working it. He's waiting to make somebody to make a move.
And Waltrip on the outside, backing up just a bit. Stewart on the bottom. That's Kurt Busch in the 78 coming up the middle with Casey Mears.
I can't get over Montoya in that 42. He is just beating the rear bumper off the Biffle down the back straightaway. Finally gets off.
Montoya in the target car restarted 13th. He is up to 3rd.
White flag in the air, and none too soon, I might add.
good here. Still good here. Come middle way.
Nemechek in the transfer spot, 3 wide near the back of that pack. Cam, that owner-driver, race his way into the 500.
The same 2 drivers at the end of the Sprint Unlimited. Harvick in first, Biffle in the 16 in second.
Don't look now, Ethel.
Now Gilliland 15. Now Scott Speed. What a desperate battle to make Sunday's Great American Race. Now Gilliland, the 38.
All in a wad. Here they come. Every time we see this on the last lap, what do we see that follows?
Checkers or wreckers? Here they come. Final time. Harvick to win it from Biffle.
Good job.
And all in a pack, 17 cars.
Oh, my.
And unofficially, the final driver to race his way in, Michael Waltrip.
Wow.
15.
Oh, my gosh. Michael Curtis at CW, you got a copy?
We don't have no. We need to get our right front.
Darrell by 9/100ths of a second. Waltrip edges Scott Speed for the final transfer spot.
Hey, Mikey, CW, you got a copy?
Loud and clear, brother. That was intense.
Whoa, buddy, you just barely made it in, but guess what? You made it in.
Yeah, there's a lot of people up in Connecticut I know with a big smile on their face for this Texas Newtown to 8088 Toyota. I'm just real proud to get in the race for them. They can sit up in the cold on Sunday in the Northeast and watch a big old-fashioned, fancy NASCAR race from Daytona. Don't get much better than that.
Holy cow, buddy, I thought you were going to win it there for a couple laps, but it looked like you got in the wrong line.
Well, I didn't get in the line. My line became the wrong line. You know, it's no coincidence that Biffle and Harvick were up front Saturday night in the shootout. They're really fast, even though, you know, me and Jimmy had it all pulled together, it looked like. They just were too strong. Their cars are really fast, so watch for those guys in the 500. And then we were a little tight at the end. We got to work on our handling. But thank the team. Really happy to be a part of this show.
Good job, buddy. Work on her a little bit.
Yeah, she needs some adjustments right on.
Kevin Harvick had never won a duel in 11 tries. Now he is headed for victory lane as we go to Steve Burns.
Well, Mike, Carl Edwards just out of the infield care center. And, Carl, let's take a look at the replay, and you can walk us through what happened.
I was driving along, minding my own business, and I thought, well, I'll just go up here and get close to these guys so I can get a pull down the back straightaway. And then I saw in my mirror, it seemed like Denny got sideways. Yep, he got sideways, hit me right here. I thought, boy, I'm going to flip. And fortunately, it didn't. But that's the 4th time we've wrecked a car since we've been down here before the Daytona 500. So I got to thank my guys for working so hard. They're putting these things back together, and fortunately, we got fast and all stuff. We got nuts and bolts from them, and we'll get it all put back together. But it's really...
Is that car totaled, Carl?
Yeah, thank you.
I have to ask the blind obvious.
Yeah, that's the only direction it would go afterwards. I couldn't go right. I was trying real hard to get back.
Yeah, she's torn up.
It's broke. But now we'll go have a 500 and try to avoid the wrecks. Like Jack said, I know what the wrecks look like now. I'm really familiar with them, so we'll go get this.
They're pre-crashed.
Yeah, pre-crash for the 500. I mean, how much better does it get than that? We'll hopefully get our Ford Fusion to victory lane. I want to win this 500. And don't count us out. We're working hard. Our guys are in the groove, and it's nothing but work. We'll just go do it.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Late last year, crew chief Gil Martin reunited with Kevin Harvick. Boy, they've been on a tear here in Daytona Beach.
We are racing in Daytona, getting ready for Budweiser Duel Race number 2. Clint Boyer is ready to go. Back's inside the Hollywood Hotel. In Duel Race number 1, we saw Patience, a pileup, and Kevin Harvick back in victory lane. So what are we going to see in Duel Race number 2?
These guys totally went to school. They were watching that high line work, and just when they thought they had it figured out, the high line's where we need to be. Here goes the bottom line making them run. So a lot of questions still to be answered.
Michael, I think that the turning point of that whole race had to have been the pit stop. That green flag pit stop right there, 2 tires or 4 tires, and getting on the pit road.
I know 3 other guys who are ready to go. That's Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, and Darrell Waltrip.
Well, the first of those questions has been answered. The pole sitter gets his choice of starting on the inside or the outside lane, Darrell, and Jeff Gordon has chosen the outside.
See, he probably wouldn't have done that if he was in the first race, because everybody, based on what they knew about the racetrack, would have said the bottom was the place to be. But because he saw how the top prevailed, he likes that. He's going to start on the outside. That's the advantage of being in the second race. You get information from teammates, and you see what the track's going to do. Big advantage.
Now, Larry, we saw green flag pit stops. If we see them again, you're going to get fuel. You need fuel. Do you want to take tires? And if so, 2 or 4?
Well, we know if we see a green flag pit stop that we have probably less than 20 laps to go. I think the precedent has been set. Green flag pit stop, need a good handling race car. You're going to get 2 tires. The thing I'm going to be interested to watch also, Jamie McMurray talked about it. Teammates, we've got Jeff Gordon and Casey Kane starting there, Richard Childress drivers together. But I'm just not sure it matters the way this car is driving and drafting right now.
Well, we had a wild battle for the final transfer spot. Michael Waltrip at the line and Scott Speed there in the final tally. We expect no less with Jeff Gordon, 3-time 500 winner and 5-time dual winner, on the pole with Brian Newman on the outside, or inside rather. Casey Kane and Kyle Busch have each won a Budweiser Duel. They're road 2. Matt Kenseth, 3-time 500 winner. Last year he won his duel. His replacement in the number 17 nationwide champ, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Paul Menard, top 10 finish in the last 3 Daytona Cup races. And rookie Austin Dillon in row 4. Clint Boyer, his best duel finish of second came 2 years ago. And Jeff Burton, who won a duel race that year. Jamie McMurray, the 500 winner in 2010, and Marcus Ambrose finished 3rd in his duel last year. Mark Martin never won a duel in 28 starts. He's finished 2nd, and Eric Almirola for Richard Petty. David Reagan, the Daytona 400 winner 2 years ago, and Josh Wise. Michael McDowell with Terry Labonte, who won his duel back in 1989. Teammates in row 10, Dave Blaney and J.J. Yaley for Tommy Baldwin Racing. Then Travis Kvapil and Mike Bliss in the 11th and final row of this 22-car field.
What do you say we talk to rookie Ricky Stenhouse Jr.? Ricky Stenhouse, this is DW. You got a copy there, buddy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, Ricky, looked like the track changed quite a bit from what you guys have been practicing. I noticed Danica came over, stuck her head in the window. I'm sure you talked to Biffle. What are they telling you, buddy?
It just sounds like everybody was getting a little tight there. We saw that when we were down here testing, at least with our best spot Ford Fusion. So hopefully Scott and the guys made some good adjustments there after listening to Greg and Carl. And hopefully we've got this thing freed up so it keeps the speed up around the top. It looked like to be the fastest line there.
You're a 2-time nationwide champion. How does this car drive compared to your nationwide car?
I'll tell you what, DW, it's not too far off other than the horsepower. I mean, I really feel comfortable in this thing and really looking forward to a great 2013 season. I think these cars are going to be great. NASCAR's done a great job with them. I hope the fans enjoy them as much as we do.
No pressure, buddy, but that 17 was pretty successful here, so good luck.
Thank you, Matt. Did a great job here. Hopefully we can have a smooth duel here and on to Sunday.
All right, my friend. Good luck.
Thank you.
Ricky Stenhouse will start 6th. Let's go to pit road. Matt Yoakum.
Mike Ryan Newman starts in the front row. His best finish in the duel was a 3rd the same year, 2008, when he went on to win the Daytona 500. Now remember, Newman told me moments before he climbed inside his race car, this event has a huge impact for Sunday's 500. Why? He lost half the side of his race car during a practice crash, lost a lot of track time. He picked up a few trends watching the first duel, but the biggest thing he says, his car has a lot of speed. He doesn't know how the car will react around other cars. This could be a big, big event for Newman. Steve Burns?
Matt Kenseth has won 2 of the last 4 Daytona 500s. He spent the last 13 seasons at Roush Fenway Racing before moving over to Joe Gibbs Racing. Now, I went to his crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe. I said, hey, I heard Matt's been around the shop a lot, getting ready to know the guys. And he said, yeah, after the 3rd race of the season, we'll never see him again. He jokingly said, the point is, they're off to a great start with their relationship. I asked Matt Kenseth right before he got in the car if he had a game plan. He said, I do. I'm going to go win this race. Let's go to Hermie Sadler.
Well, Steve, in 2011, Austin Dillon was the Camping World Truck Series champion. 2012,
NASCAR Nationwide Series Rookie of the Year, where today he tries to race his way into his very first Daytona 500. And this team is quietly confident after their qualifying speed and drafting practices this week. They think they not only can compete, but contend in the Daytona 500. Mike?
Thanks, Hermie. On the pace lap, getting ready to race here in Daytona. Clint Boyer in that NASCAR commercial says, "Can I take it for a test drive?" He's about to for 150 miles. We listened in on Clint Boyer.
And Harvick was just turning and rolling the center a lot faster than everybody else.
Yeah, he was just slide jobbing like we used to at the old track. Do what we can do, but if there's an open hole, I think we need to get in that top line and go.
Well, that top line sure went when Kevin Harvick was at the head of the line. Otherwise, I'm not sure, Darrell, did we see a whole lot of difference between top and bottom when, say, Trevor Bayne was out front in race one?
Well, remember, those guys, you know, had that caution, and that kind of grouped everybody up, and that made it kind of equalize out, I think. The weather's, I think it's cooled a little bit. The sun's going down, not bleeding on the track like it was. But I love Boyer. I mean, he's one guy outside the car. He's a wild and crazy guy outside the car. When he puts that helmet on, Larry, he becomes a real serious race car driver.
Beautiful day in Daytona Beach. Is going to get warmer as the week goes on. 72 right now. That eclipses yesterday's high. Light breeze, mostly sunny skies.
But the track itself has cooled down about 10 degrees from that first race, and that's just going to give these drivers more grip with their race cars.
I think this is going to be the crazy race. I think those guys watched that first race. Remember, that thing was pretty organized. Nobody did anything crazy. Just to finish was a little bit wild because of the caution and everything. I think this is going to be a little bit crazier race myself.
I think so too, Darrell. We had only one caution, and it was caused by a single car spin. So we didn't have a lot of the bump and run or calamity or side slamming that we might see here.
I think you're right.
And I think this race has some drivers at the back of the field that need to race their way in. They have pretty fast race cars. I think we saw that yesterday in practice.
Yes, sir. There's a lot of good cars at the back of this field that can run fast.
It's a 45-car entry. That means 23 in race one and 22 in this Budweiser Duel. The first 15 finishers, not including Jeff Gordon, who's already locked into the 500 on the front row. First 15 finishers, not including Gordon, will transfer into the 500.
But isn't it a kind of different feeling? We're all worried about Danica, you know, don't do anything, just make sure, you know, bring the car home so you can start on the pole Sunday. Jeff Gordon, we expect him to go out here and win this thing.
And he expects to win.
Yeah.
Now, some drivers know they either have their qualifying speed to fall back on if they don't finish in that top 15. That would be Ryan Newman and Casey Kane. And Clint Boyer and Ricky Stenhouse would be eligible for 2 of the 6 car owner provisionals to make it into the race. For everybody else, you got to race your way in or depend on the fortunes of others. Pace cars in. 60 laps, 150 miles. Green flag. Two by two, no advantage.
Mike, they thundered off down through here, and I was just thinking, Sunday there'll be twice this many guys taking the green flag.
When they dropped the green flag, Casey Kane in that 5 gave Ryan Newman in the 39 a little bit of a push, but he got off pretty quick.
But look at this, still no clear leader as they come into turn 3. Out of 4, Newman edged ahead. Here comes Gordon on the outside. And lap 1 of the second Budweiser Duel goes to Ryan Newman, half a car left.
And remember, that's a repaired race car. They had a little problem in practice, and they've done a nice job of putting that car back together.
Boyer next to his ex-teammate, Jeff Burton.
Whoa, man, 5 got a great run. Oh, man, I think Newman must have he must have got a little tight off it, too, had to get out of the gas, and that's what happens when you lift.
Yeah, he's going to go from leading that first lap all the way back almost outside the top 15. There's a speed difference right there. You can see it's starting to come back now, but he was about 5 miles per hour slower than the rest of the drivers.
Larry, I'm almost sure he got up off of 2 there, and he had to lift a little bit. The car must have gotten either loose or pushed with him, and that really cost him all his momentum.
Newman finally slots in line 16th. 1 spot away from the last qualified spot, now held by J.J. Yaley. At the top of your screen, those green boxes with the position numbers indicate to the drivers who right now are in position to make the Daytona 500.
Should be able to run anywhere you want to right now. The tires are new, they're fresh, going to have grip. It's when you wear the tires down, burn a little fuel off, that's when handling becomes an issue.
Mike Bliss onto the bubble spot in 16th as Jeff Gordon leads from Kyle Busch and Casey Kane on the inside. Josh Wise now into the transfer spot. And that transfer spot is 16th because Jeff Gordon is still among the top 16. Should he fall back, 15th would be the transfer position.
Yeah, Mike Bliss, that 19 right there, he has to race his way in. He was next to the slowest driver in qualifying.
And as he goes past Almirola, he is in position to do just that. They are 15th and 16th right now, the 19 and 43. One big tight draft. Jeff Gordon alone, and then it's 2x2 all the way back through 12.
Darrell, watching Jeff Gordon in that 24 car, I was talking to his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, last night. And we know, even though he won a lot of races in the Generation 5 car, he was never a fan of it. He has loved this race car, the Generation 6, ever since he stepped foot in it.
Yeah, and Larry, I mean, let's face it, he's on the front row. We know there's speed in that car, and he's using it right now.
Gordon Chevy SS ahead of Busch's Toyota. Kane Chevrolet, Stenhouse in a Ford. And look at that 33, Austin Dillon, Sprint Cup rookie, trying to make his first Daytona 500.
I think what Jeff Gordon wants to do is not have any memories of last year down here because he had a terrible speed week last year.
See Austin Dillon in that 33 car being pushed by his teammate Jeff Burton into 31. We know the Richard Childress race cars, they have speed. Kevin Harvick's won about everything so far.
Guys, watching this on TV, it looks like this is a parade lap, side by side. Everything's cool. Nobody's pushing anything, right? Well, this is very tense. I mean, they're running 200 miles an hour, and look how Stenhouse is down side drafting off of Casey Kane. That blue car with Best Buy on the hood of it was right against the farmer's car. That's tough sledding right there. You can make a mistake easily. So even though it looks like these guys are chilling, I'm telling you, there's a lot of nerves in those cars right now.
Well, you know, there's no such thing as easy. Easy and a race car do not go together. But let me ask you something. Have you ever played golf with a pro? Have you ever played tennis with a pro? Have you ever tried to hit a fastball? Well, that's what these guys. These are the best drivers in the world, and they make it look easy.
Now that group with Josh Wise leading that group, Travis Quattro, Dave Blaney, all fighting for that last spot. Comes from this 150-lap race. Blaney has it at the moment.
I think the one thing, if these guys at the back learned anything, I believe it would be that first group. Remember how some of them kind of, the draft broke up a little bit and they fell back a ways, but eventually they were able to pull themselves back up to the lead pack. So there's no need to panic just yet.
And right now, drivers like Travis Quattro are in the 500 field. Terry Labonte, Jamie McMurray, Mark Martin in 11th. But they are so close to those next four that Dave Blaney in that number 7 for Tommy Baldwin is right now on the bubble. Jeff Gordon is your leader in the second Budweiser Duel.
This is a real pivot point for NASCAR. We have to get back to the cars looking like production cars. For us, in the year of launching the Fusion, to put it on the track and race against the best in the world at Daytona. That's what it's all about. This is a real special season, a special race, especially for Ford.
This is their story. Fusion Evolution. Stock returns to racing. February 24th, 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Speed.
How advanced is the new Ford Fusion? Well, it has outstanding performance and handling, and it offers a plug-in hybrid that gets a projected 100 mpge. Of course, there's still one thing it can't do. Introducing the entirely new Ford Fusion. It's an entirely new idea of what a car can be.
The DVR's full again.
Oh, you're kidding. Cable's more irritating than...
I know. Cable makes me angrier than...
We need to upgrade to DirecTV and get the new Genie. She gives you 3 times more storage than cable.
You're right.
DirecTV is more amazing than...
Get 3 times more HD recording capacity with a new DirecTV Genie. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Golden Corral just passed America's Family Budget Act. Right now, kids eat for just $2.99 Monday through Thursday. It's all your endless Golden Corral favorites, including our new sirloin filet and our non-stop butterfly shrimp. The $2.99 Kids Dinner Special, only at Golden Corral.
Can you hear it? Fueling the American spirit. No matter when, no matter where, Marathon will take you there.
Son, I needed to get these 10 Toyotas up to Loudon by July 14th. New Hampshire Motor Speedway's giving them away. Part of the Toyota Wheel and Deal pre-race show.
Yes, sir. Ready, pork chop? Loudon, here we come.
Can't wait for the heart-pounding, foot-to-the-floor NASCAR racing action to return to New Hampshire's Magic Mile? Then buy your tickets now for the July 14th New Hampshire 300 for your chance to win one of 10 new Toyotas and lots more. The $250,000 Toyota Wheel and Deal pre-race show where the fans are the winners.
11 complete, Jeff Gordon still leading. Tomorrow, the world's toughest trucks hit the high banks for the lid lifter. For the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, 250 miles wide open. Live from Daytona, 7 Eastern, on Speed. Jeff Gordon, Casey Kane, Austin Dillon, Jeff Burton, 4 Chevrolets lead the pack with 12 laps complete. Hermie?
Yeah, Mike, the 33 car of Austin Dillon has only reported to his crew that he is a little bit free on entry right now while in traffic, and they reminded him that is exactly the same feedback that teammate Kevin Harvick gave about this lap in the first duel. So things are looking pretty good right now for the 33 and Austin Dillon.
Thanks, Hermie. Mike Bliss, the slowest qualifier on time trials in this race, trailing the pack. And NASCAR informs us that the window net in the driver's side window has come down. That is a safety violation. He's going to have to come to pit road to have that reaffixed.
Trust me, you can't put it up. The driver cannot do it by himself. It takes 2 people to put that net back in there.
And we documented, because of his qualifying, the only chance he has of getting in the Daytona 500 is race his way in, and this is really going to put a damper on that.
$13 complete.
The best seat in the house right now, Larry, that 24 car. He's looking out his front windshield. He doesn't see anything. He's looking in his rearview mirror, and he sees a teammate. He's a happy camper.
That'll be Casey Kane. Then the Chevrolet Childress teammates, Dillon and Burton. Kyle Busch's Toyota, Marcus Ambrose in a Ford.
How about old Burton? He likes these Daytona and these super speedways, plate tracks. He has an incredible record there on these super speedways.
Ryan Newman's dropped back a bit. That moves Travis Quapple and Dave Blaney to fight it out for the transfer spot at the moment. Steve?
Mike, Matt Ketchum's just a little bit loose on entry. This is a tough place to break in a new spotter. He's working with Chris Osborne for the first time down here in Speed Weeks after many years with Mike Kalanoff atop the roof. Kalanoff now with the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse.
Well, based on Kevin Harvick in that first duel, a little loose right now may not be bad. As you can see, they are working to get that window net up on Mike Bliss's 19 car as he's on pit road.
Yeah, Larry, we mentioned as you burn off fuel, you pick up nose weight. Once you pick up a little nose weight and burn off a little fuel, the back of the car comes up a little bit, and the car tightens up, and you're ready to go somewhere.
Well, Jeff Gordon just ran his quickest lap of the race as he has led from the start. Matt?
Chasing his 11th victory in the duel, leading a 9-car breakaway. And Gordon's been very quiet on the radio to his team, but he did tell his spotter, Long Islander Eddie DeHunt, I know at a certain point we're going to have a second group drop down and form another lane. Keep me posted when it happens, and also the momentum shift that also may take place because he can always dive down, but he said it's going to develop, and it's another good learning tool for Sunday.
I just think we're all, this is a different racetrack than we had at the first one. We started the other race at 2 o'clock. Here it is going up to close to 4:30, and the track has cooled dramatically, and that makes a huge difference, right, Mikey?
Daryl, and I'm going to bet you that Kyle Busch starts that lower line. We were in a meeting with him the other day, and he absolutely does not like riding in line. He says it's boring. I don't want to do that. It's hard, but he doesn't like it. So watch for him to dive to the bottom in that 18 car. I believe he'll start it, and his teammate Matt Kenseth is only a couple cars back. He's probably going to join him. Could get a little fun here.
Yeah, they got to get up. You got to get up there and help him, though. He can't drop down by himself, or he'll be behind Matt Kenseth.
There's Kenseth's number 20, the new hire at Joe Gibbs Racing for 2013. And he's just 2 spots behind Kyle Busch with Marcus Ambrose in between. Let's go up to 3rd place. Race rookie and grandson of team owner Richard Childress, Austin Dillon.
The 18 is 2 back behind the 31, and he looks antsy. He'll make something try to happen here before long. I'll just keep you posted.
Well, I think that pretty much supports what Michael was anticipating.
Now, you know what I like about that? Everybody knows that he's the one that's going to make something. Michael knows, and Dylan knows. Everybody knows.
There's over 100,000 people in this grandstand
they
that
all
know.
That's
Kyle
why they
Busch,
love him.
Wild thing as he was in his younger days, he will make something happen.
You think your little Euro trash ride can beat my American muscle?
Bring it on. Are you faster than a redneck? Catch a special preview after the trucks race. Friday, only on Speed.
Pole sitter Danica Patrick tries to shock the world again. The Daytona 500, Sunday on Fox.
NASCAR Race Hub, exclusively on Speed.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, a landslide will bring it down.
For bigger arms, shredded shoulders, rock-hard abs, and a chiseled chest, you need the Bowflex Uppercut, your all-access pass to over 30 of the most bad exercises on the planet. You'll go deep with presses to build bigger arms and an explosive chest. Killer pikes for washboard abs and stronger shoulders. Vicious dives to fire your core and light up your lats. And shredding flies to tear you up. Oh, the Uppercut secret is ARC technology that activates up to 30% more muscle, enables 4 times more reps, and perfect control every time. So if this is how you train, step up your game. Try the Bowflex Uppercut today for just $14.95 and receive the workout poster, the Bowflex Nutrition Plan. And because DVDs are dead, get the free Uppercut mobile web app with even more workouts. Try it for 30 days. If you don't see results, you didn't open the box, but you can still send it back for a full refund. Call the number below or log on to tryuppercut.com and ask how you can get these free handles and free shipping. Order now.
Love that new car smell.
20 laps complete. Jeff Gordon leading. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. 8 cars by themselves with a pack of 4 led by Paul Menard trying to run down the front group.
We've been watching those 4 drivers, and they have tightened up. They've started running the bottom of the racetrack. In the last 2 or 3 laps, they've been about a half a second quicker than that top 8.
Watch that front group. They are starting to compress when they come up off the corner. Particularly, I noticed more off turn 4, but I believe their cars are tightening up, and they're having to squeeze up out of the throttle just a little bit, and it's causing that front group to have to lift, and that's allowing those 4 back there behind them to come on like a freight train.
They're going to be there in another half a lap to 3/4 of a lap. They are really coming, but look at them right at the bottom of the track.
I love it. Man, this is, folks, I've never had, you don't know what it feels like to be in one of these things when it flips up in the banking, and you're getting a chance to ride along just like the drivers do. That is an amazing piece of equipment right there. You try to tell people at home what it feels like. Well, this is what it looks like.
And Paul Menard is there. He, Jamie McMurray, Ricky Stenhouse, and Clint Boyer have caught the lead pack.
Same thing we saw with his teammate, Kevin Harvick in the 29. We're getting close to about halfway through this thing. Started running the bottom.
Matt?
And down in the 1 pit, Juan Pablo Montoya, teammate to Jamie McMurray, has climbed on top of the pit box. He's trying, like so many other drivers, not in this race, but in Duel 1, trying to learn as much as they can for Sunday's 500. Right now, he's hearing on the radio that McMurray is saying his car is just getting tighter and tighter as the run goes on. Look for a significant adjustment when they hit pit road for their stop.
Matt Kenseth and Paul Menard came so close to trading paint off turn 4. That was almost too close.
That's what I'm seeing off at turn 4 right now, Mike. These guys are looking like some of them are having to lift just a little wee bit, and that's really causing a bottleneck.
But that killed the momentum of Paul Menard in that group. You'll see it right here. Kenseth was trying to slide down in front of Menard, Darrell.
Well, you know, I've been watching. I've watched Matt Kenseth in the shootout or in the unlimited, and watched him in practice. I watched him a day. He's having trouble getting people to work with him. I wonder why.
Well, that may have something to do with Friday's practice and what just went on right there.
I'm telling you. He's got a fast car. We've seen him make great moves in the car, but he just can't get anybody to want to help him.
The transfer spot right now belongs to David Reagan, and he is 4.5 seconds ahead of Dave Blaney, so no drama there. As Clint Boyer pulls alongside Paul Menard, this is for 9th place.
And you want to know how those 4 guys got behind? Well, this is how they got behind the first time.
Steve?
Mark Martin at the tail end of that first pack. He's saying that his car is a little tight on corner exit. We've heard that from several drivers.
Mark Martin in 8th.
And that's what happened to a lot of drivers in that first duel race. Again, we're about 4 or 5 laps shy of halfway.
And once again, it's 8 cars, a gap, 4 cars, a gap, and 4 more.
But look at these race cars. I mean, we know that that's a Chevrolet in the front. We can see that. We see that these are Chevrolets, that they're Toyotas, and that they're Fords. These are amazing race cars. I can't get over the job that the manufacturers and working with NASCAR have done with the identity of these cars.
Such a game changer, Darrell. You park this car next to its street-going counterpart, and they are appearing the same.
And you know what? Drivers, they like a good-looking race car. And they get excited. Everybody's excited about racing this thing. It's what I love. Makes me want to crawl up in one of them.
Hendrick Chevy teammates on point, Jeff Gordon and Casey Kane. Richard Childress Chevrolet teammates, Austin Dillon and Jeff Burton. Right behind them, then Kyle Busch's Toyota and Marcus Ambrose Ford. That's the first half dozen.
Bristol is unforgettable. Be there for the Food City 500 on March 17th. Call 423-BRISTOL or visit bristoltix.com. Let's pinch our dreams. Let's wake them up. Make them real. Let's not let anything hold us back. Not even 292,000 pounds. Let's keep our head in the stars, our feet on the ground, and nothing will be beyond our reach. Toyota, let's go places.
I hate that cable only lets us record 2 shows at once.
Me too. Cable's worse than...
Not being able to record all our shows at once is more annoying than...
We need to upgrade to DirecTV and get the new Genie. She lets you record 5 shows at once.
I want DirecTV more than...
Record 5 shows at once with the new DirecTV Genie. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem, because I like Johnny. Now, I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all, OMG, Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
If I had a nickel. If I had a nickel? If I had a nickel for every time I wish my car had a horn. If I had a nickel for every time.
For every lucky charm I have brought to the racetrack.
If I had a nickel.
For every wardrobe change I had to make.
Man, if I had a nickel. If I had a nickel for every time I coulda, woulda, shoulda.
If you had a Sunoco Rewards credit card, you'd get a nickel for every gallon you pump. Go Sunoco.
Love that new car smell.
Halfway in the Budweiser Duel at Daytona, Kyle Busch has made his move. He's gone down to the inside, and who went with him?
Nobody. Yeah, because right now, even his teammate Matt Kenseth in the 20 stayed up top, so Kyle Busch in the 18 will be able to fall back in behind him.
Coming around off turn 4. How about NASCAR on Fox Thursday afternoon? Crank it up. Turn 4 back to the line to complete 33 laps. 8th place Mark Martin has caught the lead pack, and he has brought Paul Menard, Ricky Stenhouse with him, along with Clint Boyer. This time it's Boyer down on the inside by himself.
That 27 car is obviously fast there. He's pulled the groups up to the front, up to the lead pack there a couple of times. If he got somebody to go with him, I believe he could go somewhere.
Well, and I think a while ago when he was pulling that group, had Matt Kenseth in the 20 not jumped down in front of him and busted him up, I think he would have pulled him a lot further up than he pulled him that first time.
9 cars in the lead pack. In about another lap here, it's going to be 16 of them. Ricky Stenhouse bringing that second group along.
Yeah, it's almost like Stenhouse in the 17, Boyer in the 15 lost touch with the front group, but here comes Jamie McMurray, and the one that was pulling another 5 or 6 drivers with him up toward the front.
Remember, there will be one pit stop to complete the 60-lap distance. You can't go 60 on a tank of fuel. Will they stop under green, or will we have a caution? Danica Patrick on top of the hauler, looking on.
I think this year, her and Ricky running for Rookie of the Year, running against each other, that's going to be something to keep an eye on all year long.
Yeah, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in that 17. Of course, he's run 5 Sprint Cup Series races, but now he's going to be running full-time just like Danica Patrick will be.
Paul Menard's dropped down to the low side by himself. Will he pick up those 3 cars behind him and work his way back to the lead draft?
Yeah, it's tough sledding when you just get in that gap he's in right there. You're going to have some help to get back up there. Here comes Boyer.
We're only about 4, 5, 6 laps away from green flag pit stops. I keep thinking back to that first dual race. What really got Trevor Bayne in trouble was that he got in too hot, got knocked out in the infield grass, and the front tires was forced to go with 4. Making a green flag pit stop here, Darrell, can be pretty treacherous.
Yeah, when we watch these guys practice their pit stops almost to a car, they lock up that right front coming off of the track on the pit lane, and several guys blew out right front tires like Trevor did.
That second pack a little more spaced car to car than the first pack, and up in turn 2 carrying a little more speed. Now pretty close to even.
It's about a mile-per-hour difference right there. It just keeps floating, but definitely that second pack with Menard, the 27's pulling them, they're not any quicker right now.
I think they just got to commit to that bottom. Last time they got up there and they all wanted to jump in line because they don't want to lose the draft, but I think if these guys that hang together, the 4 of them right there, and just push to the bottom and keep working it, it might work out for them.
Final transfer car now is Travis Kvapil in the 93. He is 8 seconds ahead of Dave Blaney.
Yeah, he's running completely by himself right now with no help. You can see him right there.
But with no challenges either.
Well, I think I go back to that first Budweiser Duel race, and the way these guys are bunched up, as long as you don't have a problem getting on pit road, I think there's no question. 2 right side tires and probably about a half a can of fuel.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to sit there and put fuel in the thing. You don't need that much fuel. Get you some tires and get enough gas, get to the end and be done.
But it's one of those stops where so much riding on the driver's shoulders about how he gets on and off pit road.
Well, you've been running around here, Larry, and your brakes are cold, and you run quite a bit of brake here because you do have to make these fast pit stops. So inevitably, you lock that right front up and slide it. You're going to change that one. That's okay. You just don't want to mess that left front up.
Here comes Menard for 8th against Mark Martin. And Martin's getting help from his Michael Waltrip Racing teammate Clint Boyer up on the outside.
Now that could be a good little combination. Clint and Mark get together there, the 55 and the 15, see if they can go somewhere.
What a difference a year makes. Not only are these new Fords, Chevys, and Toyotas very recognizable at a distance, but the racing is so different. No longer do you need a partner to bump draft with, to get to, or stay at the front. It's pack racing. Whether single, double, or triple file, it's exciting to watch.
And we talked about teammates, and we got a lot of teammates up there in the top 6 or 7. You've got Jeff Gordon and Casey Kane, and you've got Austin Miller and Burton, who Burton now comes down to the bottom as we're starting to see some green flag pit stops.
Eric Almirola, fuel only. Dave Blaney, right side tires. Same for Josh Wise.
Boy, this is going to be ugly.
Here they come.
All over each other. Oh, no.
And around goes Newman.
Newman spins. Did he hit the outside wall?
No, he saves it. Down to the apron.
We stay green.
Gordon, Kane, Dillon, Burton on pit road. Hermie.
Casey Kane hits his marks here. It'll be 2 right side tires. Sunoco fuel, no adjustments. Matt?
First live pit stop of the year for the 24 guys. Chassis adjustment. Gordon said the car was good at the beginning of the run, but then got tighter and tighter.
Pit road clears. We stay green as Ryan Newman limps around the apron down in turn number 1.
Yeah, he's got a right front tire down. If he goes very fast, that tire will come apart. Man, look at this. This is another.
Matt Kenseth leads him in, coming in hot. Got to get down to pit road speed along with Busch, Ambrose, and more. Steve.
And Mike, Matt Kenseth comes to a nice, clean stop right where he needed to. It looks like gas only for the 20 of Matt Kenseth. Matt.
And Steve, his teammate Kyle Busch, comes to a stop. Same game plan for Busch. Fuel only for the 18, and he's away.
Boyer also fuel only. Oh, boy.
We'll just serve the penalty. Serve the penalty. Pass through, Eddie. Yeah.
That is Alan Gustafson to spotter Eddie DeHaan. Jeff Gordon was too fast entering pit road. He'll have to do a drive-through penalty.
That's certainly not what he wants to hear, but it's not what Casey Kane, his teammate, wants to hear, because look how far these 2 drivers are in front of everyone else. He's going to have no partner once Jeff Gordon hits pit road.
Let's go back and watch what happened to the 39 of Ryan Newman. He's at the back of that pack, back behind Jamie McMurray.
Yeah, he looked like he was thought he might gonna run over McMurray, cut back out onto the racetrack, and when he did, he spun the car out. Now he's got a right front tire flat, and he'll just creep around or he'll tear the whole front end off the car.
Ricky Stenhouse, Terry Labonte, too fast exiting pit road.
And that's an area where I know it's very difficult. You leave pit road down there, you leave that last pit box, you think you've cleared, but the line, the cone, is another pit box away, almost out on the racetrack. It's very easy to speed there.
So Gordon and Stenhouse have served their penalties. Ryan Newman has made it back to pit road without further incident, and we stay green with 18 laps to go.
Now, the penalties they're serving is what we call a drive-through. They do not have to stop in their pit box. Just come down pit road, maintain that 55 miles per hour pit road speed.
But what a contrast. One of our most experienced drivers, he has a pit road penalty. Our rookie contender, Ricky Stenhouse, he has a pit road penalty. So it's no really rhyme nor reason. It's just overdriving the pits.
Let's set the stage with 17 laps to go. There you see Jeff Gordon get back up to speed. We have the 3 Toyotas that are up there by themselves at the lead pack, and then you go back about 3.5 seconds back, 4 Chevrolets and a Toyota.
So now with Jeff Gordon out of the top 15 due to penalty, Travis Kvapil is on the bubble.
Millions of fans, one family. It takes truly unlimited data to feed a family this large.
Away. Is the smell of salt in the air. It's the sound a seashell makes. Away is a place that's beyond your imagination, yet well within your means. Find your away. For a dealer in the RV that's right for you, visit GoRVing.com.
Chances are you're not made of money, so don't overpay for motorcycle insurance. Geico. See how much you could save.
That's me last year. Why is this so hard? Doing my taxes the old way. Blaming my pencil, calling my dad. I'm just trying to figure out my taxes. Cursing my calculator. If you could give me a call back when you get this, I'm so frustrated. And this is me this year. Thanks to TaxSlayer.com, I hit e-file and I'm done. It's quick, it's easy, and it's only $9.95. Oh, and did I mention I'm done?
TaxSlayer.com, just $9.95 for your federal return.
Done.
What makes a ZL1? Splitter, the extractor, the larger front stab bar, 6-piston Brembos, Gen 3 magnetic shocks, so the suspension could do its job. All of this hardware is about making the car continue to go into a corner hard lap after lap.
Of the Budweiser Duel at Daytona is presented by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. Brought to you by Sprint. Millions of fans, one family, only Sprint can feed them all. Join the family at sprint.com/speed. And by Toyota. Let's go places. 47 laps complete, 13 to go. 3 Toyotas were leading the pack. Busch, Boyer, and Mark Martin. They've been caught by Casey Kane. The green backgrounds and the position numbers indicate drivers who are locked into the Daytona 500 as of their running position right now. It's the top 15 cars in the race, not including the pole sitter, Jeff Gordon. He already has a spot in the 500. So that means with him up there, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who is 16th in line, is in the transfer spot.
Pull out Kyle Busch, the Toyotas, Clint Boyer and Matt Kenseth, and they got a pretty good gap. But man, did they ever get run down. And from what I felt from behind the wheel, I wanted tires. I think these tires are giving up. The cars are slipping around. So if you get tires, I believe there's a little bit of speed in them. And man, we saw the fastest speeds of Speed Week where these guys marched to the front. They ran over 200 miles an hour catching that front pack.
Tell you what I want. I want that 27 behind me because he is, that 27 is fast. He looks like Kevin Harvick, the way he can run the bottom and he can run where he wants to. He's pretty fast.
Wow. They used Casey Kane up in the 5, and he just barely slid down in front of Jeff Burton in the 31. I think both of them had to check up.
Yeah, that was almost a mess.
Casey Kane, the number 5, has the fastest lap of the race. Now that pack has closed right up on the back of Clint Boyer, Steve.
At Clint Boyer, a little bit of a gamble here. We talked about risk reward. They took no tires on that stop. Consequently, they may not have gotten enough fuel in the car. See Brian Paddock saying, save, save, save. We'll let you know when you can go.
Poor Boyer. That's all he ever hears at the end of every race.
Even in a 150-mile race.
Man, we're just running 150 miles.
Now 3 cars behind that is rookie Austin Dillon, driving the number 33 Chevrolet. Hermie.
Well, Mike, when the 33 of Dillon came to pit road, they got 2 right side tires and a track bar adjustment. His car was too loose. They had him holding on to the back of the 31 of Jeff Burton. Now he has passed the 31. He's hanging on to the back of the 5. Very impressive run so far for Austin Dillon.
Absolutely.
And Mike, I mentioned Matt Kenseth a little bit ago, and like he was having trouble getting people to work with him. But think about this. His longtime spotter, Mike Kalanoff, the only spotter he's ever had, he's only ever driven for the Roush organization. And so he and Jimmy Finning have been together for a long time. He is in whole new surroundings, and I think Matt's just going through some adjustments.
Darrell, it just appears that they keep searching around right now because I think we documented it in the first duel. You cannot wait to the last lap or the last corner. You better be figuring things out now.
Well, we're seeing these fast speeds, Larry, because the track temp's gone down, the ambient temp's gone down, and these cars are liking it.
Guys, don't you think it's interesting? We saw Jeff Gordon leading the pack. He liked the high side. Kyle Busch has dropped to the bottom and led him for several laps. But man, there's a lot going on behind these guys. Matt Kenseth, big push to Clint Boyer. He gets around Kyle Busch. Which way will Kenseth go? He stays on the high side. This is what we've been waiting for. These guys to really mix it up.
Well, Clint Boyer got clearance on, he didn't get clearance. He got half a car length on Kyle Busch and just stalled out in the low lane.
Clear behind him, quick. Get up there, get up there, get up there, get up there, get up there. Quick.
Oh, that was great move. Great job by the spotter to get him in that hole right there because that was close.
Well, and you would think also probably Mark Martin, his teammate, that 55, give him a little bit of a break there.
If I was going to squeeze in front of somebody, I would hope it'd be Mark Martin.
Josh Wise now in the last transfer spot, 16th, as he and Ricky Stenhouse draft together.
And he had to start at the rear of the field because of an engine change before this dual race.
Now the leaders are going to inhale them in a couple of laps here and put them a lap down, but fear not. In the first race, David Gilliland got a lap down, but when the caution came out and he got the free pass, got back in position and raced his way into the 500.
Well, we're coming to 6 to go, so this thing is winding down here, and Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth are pretty happy where they are. I think that the wild card is going to be the 5 and the 33, and if they decide to try to make a move together.
We're going to lap Travis Kvapil right here. Kvapil still racing for a spot in the 500. Right now he is one position away. So Josh Wise, if he can tack on to these leaders, he might be able to draft right up and battle for the bubble spot.
And just look, I mean, we've got 2 Toyotas, 2 Chevrolets, and 2 more Toyotas. So the 2 Chevys, if they're going to do anything, they're going to have to do it together.
Kvapil tried, didn't work, Larry. Couldn't quite hang with the leaders.
Well, there's one more player back there that he might can hook on to, Paul Menard in that 27. Right now, Paul is by himself about 5 car lengths behind Travis Kvapil.
And Kvapil's target is that white number 35 of Josh Wise. Down on the inside behind Ricky Stenhouse. Wise is in the last transfer spot. 5 to go as they cross the line.
Looks like Travis Kvapil just can't hang on to anybody when they go by him.
It's been 4 years since Kyle Busch won one of these 150-mile qualifying races.
Yeah, you see right there 191 miles per hour, 190. Those guys up there in that big pack, 8 to 10 miles per hour quicker than Travis Kvapil.
And Larry, you know, I told you for somebody I wanted to slide in front of, I wouldn't mind it being Mark Martin. Somebody I really wouldn't want to try to pass on the last lap, it'd be Kyle Busch. There's some thinking going on right now, boys. Everybody's sitting here trying to figure out, what am I going to do?
We know you can't wait till the last lap, Darrell. When do you make your move?
Well, you know, down here in the past, you come off turn 4, you get a side draft, you had a shot. Doesn't look like that's happening this time. When do you make your move? When somebody says they'll make it with you. You got to have some help.
Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth are former adversaries. Busch with Toyota, previously Chevrolet. Kenseth's been in a Ford all this time. This is their first speed week as teammates.
I know one thing. We talk about, are there team orders, and most guys would say no. Right now in this race, I'd say no. I would say that Casey Kane would be happy to go with Matt Kenseth if he decides to make a move.
And will Casey Kane take a chance with that rookie behind him, Austin Dillon, the other Chevrolet in this group?
I don't think he can, Larry, because the 2 Toyotas behind him will close the door on them, and they'll be hung out to dry. This move's got to come from Matt Kenseth. If Matt makes the move, Casey will go with him.
2 Toyotas, 2 Chevys, 2 more Toyotas in that lead pack of 6 as we come down to the final 2.5 laps.
Think about what Matt Kenseth just told Steve Burns before the race. I'm going to win this race.
Well, we know, we've said all week he's got a fast car. We've seen him make great moves and have showed a lot of speed. Just hadn't been able to get in the right spot. But he's in the right spot right now. And you know what Matt has? He has winning experience.
Yes, he does.
Michael, these cars are about a car length or half a car length apart with wind buffeting in between them. It looks like traffic out on I-4, but how white-knuckled is this right now?
Mike, they're running 200 miles an hour. Look at that big wall right beside them. It is very tough to hold your line. The cars are wanting to push, especially, you see how high Kyle drifted on the way off? That's because the car is not handling properly. They've got all they want right now.
White flag, boys. Here we go. Here goes the 5.
The 33, Austin Dillon, goes with him.
That's what it's going to take.
Boyer to the outside, and Kyle Busch comes down to the inside to cover.
And now Matt Kenseth in the 20, he's going to be the real loser. Goes all the way back to almost the back of this pack. I don't think Kane is finished yet.
Didn't see that coming.
Tell you what, that 5,
Do that same thing at that same run, halfback 33 and 15.
The 33 needs to get a little tighter on the 5 if they're going to make a charge.
Casey Kane, will he have room on the bottom? Inside Kyle Busch. Here they come to the flag. Busch, Kane, Dillon, Boyer, single file, Kane to the bottom, runs out of real estate, and time. Samantha celebrates Kyle Busch's second win in the Budweiser Duel. And at the last transfer spot, one lap back, Dave Blaney pulls up into 15th, and Josh Wise 16th. Moves to the Daytona 500.
Make the Daytona 500, including the purse today, it's worth a little over $250,000 to these drivers.
Nice run for the Riverside, California driver. He is in the Great American Race. As Kyle Busch beats Casey Kane to the line by 9/100ths of a second. In a caution-free race that averages just shy of 194 miles an hour with a pit stop.
You know, the way this young man, Kyle Busch, ended 2012, the run he had in the chase, even though he was not in the chase, I just feel like he's going to have a good year this year. Started off on the right foot, winning this Budweiser Duel race.
What do you have? 7 top 5 finishes in the chase, I think it was.
And the number of laps he led was unbelievable.
Led the most laps in a number of races, so great win for Kyle.
And the two drivers who go to victory lane today are known as two of the most aggressive drivers in the sport, Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch.
And I don't think they're on each other's Christmas card list either.
Probably not. Toyota, Chevy, Toyota, Toyota, the top 5 with the first Ford. Nice drive for David Reagan, who came up for 10th spot ahead of Marcus Ambrose in 11th. You have just seen the second fastest Budweiser Duel race in history.
Wow, that's big.
193.95 miles an hour. And here is your order of finish. Top 10 drivers race in.
Good run for David Reagan in that 34 top 10 finish.
Along with the next 6 drivers.
Pretty nice recovery by Jeff Gordon to come back and be 12th after a pit road penalty.
And unofficially, it'll be Mike Bliss. We'll be going home from this Budweiser Duel. 45-car entry, 43-car field for the 500. Hermie?
Well, a happy Austin Dillon getting some congratulations from crew. It's not a bad job for a rookie in your first duel. Came home third, and a solid ride for the Daytona 500.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, after that first one, we still weren't in it, so got a little nervous before that, and just stayed in it all day and rode that top line. I ran behind Casey the whole time. I was waiting for a Chevy to get in the victory lane right there, but just couldn't get enough of a run at Kyle. His car was really good, but I want to thank Honey Nut Cheerios for giving me this opportunity. Tag Heuer Eyewear and Advocare, man. This is an awesome feeling, and I'll always remember the first one.
Talk about your expectations now. You've now gone from trying to make the race to you got a pretty good ride right here.
Yeah, we got a good hot rod. Just this thing's all about being there at the end, go into conservation mode early, and then get them at the end.
That's Austin Dillon. He is in the Daytona 500.
Wow, 22 years old, and he'll be in the race on Sunday.
That's a young man you're going to be hearing about for a long time.
I think so.
Lots of talent.
Matt?
A big congratulations from Stephen Lane. Congratulations to you. You're in the Great American Race.
Oh, man, it's awesome. It's a huge amount of stress lifted off our shoulders. You know, we had to play a pretty safe race there just because of what we were trying to do. We knew if we just stayed out of trouble and ran our race, we'd get in the transfer there. And I just can't thank Bob Jenkins and Jerry Freeze and all the guys at Front Row Motorsports and Blockbuster and Cajun Industries for coming on. We got sponsors for this race, and we're ready to go do it.
For your fans at home, how stressful was today?
It's a lot of stress, man, because you kind of see how the race gets out of sequence there, and guys lose the draft, and it only takes one mistake on pit road there, and you can put yourself in a pretty tough position for trying to make it. So the guys did a good job on pit road, and we did what we had to do, so it's pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I think a lot of our questions about how this car will race have been answered. I'm really looking forward to Sunday's Daytona 500.
I think it's racy. I mean, we saw a lot of side-by-side racing in that first race. We saw a lot of good drafting in the second race. Guys might want to work on their pit stops, getting in and getting off, but other than that, I thought it was a great race.
Can Kevin Harvick become the first driver in the 35-year history of the Sprint Unlimited race to win the Sprint Unlimited, the Budweiser Duel, and the Great American Race, the Daytona 500?
Good question. Kyle Busch ready to climb out. He has won his second Budweiser Duel, and Steve Burns is there to greet him.
Kyle Busch, much better result than Saturday night. What did you learn out here today for the Daytona 500?
It's hard to pass the leader, you know, just stay out front. When you can get out front, you can run pretty good and just try to hold everybody off behind you, you know. There wasn't enough lane-by-lane racing, I'd call it here, but it's awesome to be able to put the M&M's Camry in victory lane. You use those tools to your advantage as best you can when you learn what's going on when the race is around you. And can't say enough about everybody at M&M's, Interstate Batteries, Toyota, Sprint. Thanks, Sprint, for being here, and appreciate those guys. It's great to refresh here in victory lane with a Monster Energy, and cool the fans come out here to watch the Budweiser Duels today. We appreciate them and everybody out there on TV.
Yeah, a huge crowd here at Daytona International. Kyle, were there any moves that you made, maybe trying to drop down to the bottom, that did not work?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think we saw a lot of that with the 27 car trying to make the bottom come up. Never could get it to go, but I tried it there that one time. Everybody was checking up, getting into the corners, and I knew there wasn't a gap for me to get back in, but I was like, well, maybe if I side draft the 31 enough, I can pull him back and I can get up in line and start making moves that way, but it didn't work like that. So I didn't have much to lose. You know, I only had two cars that were behind me to single me out, to push me backwards, so I figured, what the heck, I might as well give it a try, see what happens. And coming to pit road there, that's what won us the race, you know, just being able to beat those guys, over-braking them, getting into the pits, and not sliding any tires, so we could take that advantage to not have to take any tires under the pit stop. Dave Rogers made a great call there to just take fuel only, get us out front, and had a great teammate behind me pushing me with Matt Kenseth there at the end, and just trying to go down in order. I know he didn't get second, so he could start behind me into 500, but those guys behind him got a little bit antsy.
Yeah, that new kid, Kenseth.
Yeah, something like that.
Let's go to Hermie.
Well, I've got that teammate, Matt Kenseth. Kyle Busch giving you some props in victory lane for helping him get the victory lane, but Darrell Waltrip says to have a faster car as you got, you sure not getting a lot of help on the racetrack. How are you going to fix that between now and Sunday?
I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to do all the right things. I saw the 5 coming. I knew he was going to try the bottom. Typically, the top's been a little quicker. And so anyway, so I stayed up with my teammate there trying to help him out. And I knew the 15 and 55 were back there, and the 5 went under. I knew the 33 go with him. And I figured I'd stall him out, and then guys would come behind me. And the last minute, Clint went left, and I was the only one sitting out there, so I knew I was in trouble. But overall, we got some pretty good speed. I just gotta think through my moves a little bit better and try to make the right moves. I probably should have made the move on Kyle before the 5 could get the move on me and try to get the win there. I just waited, I guess, a little too long. So we'll keep working out. We got a really fast car, and hopefully we'll do the right things on Sunday.
That's Matt Kenseth still learning how to draft with this car. Mike?
Well, he's the defending champion of the 500. Kyle Busch celebrates in victory lane along with Kevin Harvick earlier in today's Budweiser Duel at Daytona.